These are my dance shoes. They're actually called foot undies because they look like underwears. Use them just to, keep your foot able to move on the floor. I don't particularly know why I carry them with me all the time. I'd like to think that I could just, whip them out and start dancing anywhere. Maybe, whip out some fouettes or something in just a random place, but I do carry them with me, which is kind of odd. I actually started dancing when I was 2 years old. My aunt owned a studio, so typically you had to be either 3 years old or potty trained before you could start dancing, but I was able to take the class in diapers because my aunt owned the studio. So I danced until I was 18 years old, and it was really hard to give it up. At the time, I was kind of overwhelmed and sick of it in that way. But as I went off to college, I kind of missed it, and I did take a dance class here a couple semesters ago, so that was really cool to be able to get back into it, and I definitely enjoyed that. I was that kid that would not pay attention, could not sit still, and being younger than the other girls, they were kind of worried that other parents would get mad at me. And my first recital was just a manifestation of that, distractedness. I didn't perform, I just kind of stood on the stage and did my own thing and, smiled and waved, but didn't do the whole dance, which makes sense from what I'm told I acted in class. My favorite dance memory, I actually wore these, it was a longer term experience, but when I was in 8th grade, I begged my mom to let me try out for the American Academy of Ballet's Nutcracker production, and she was very, in her nicest way possible, she told me that it was kind of a far-fetched thing, and I didn't go to that studio, so they probably weren't going to take me, and she was nicely trying to say that the studio I went to wasn't as competitive as American Academy, but I did go to these auditions, and there was about 30 other girls in the room with me, and that was just the 12 to 13-year-olds, it wasn't even the whole audition process. So I'm sitting there with all these other girls, and I was not used to, being in that kind of environment. I was used to 10 people around me doing the same thing, but it was a little bit overwhelming, but I did get a part, and I wore these through the whole thing. I was a Chinese ribbon dancer, which was super cool. So that was one of my best dance memories. And that year that I was in the Nutcracker, the male lead was, he actually went out to be on So You Think You Dance. So watching him be on TV was kind of cool after that too.